Hello and welcome to another video. I think what I'm going to start doing is doing some problems from LeetCode contests that just recently happened because there's not a lot of content on those, and those are basically brand new problems. So this one is the first one in yesterday's LeetCode contest, and I'm going to do the rest of them in the next few days. So this is going to be make three strings equal. And you're given three strings, S1, S2, and S3, and you have to perform the following operation on these strings as many times as you want. In one operation, choose one of the three strings, so its length is at least 2, and delete the rightmost character in it. Return the minimum number of operations you need to perform to make the strings equal. And if there's no way, return -1. So we have these three strings, and they are saying what you can do to make them equal is you can delete this C, and you can delete this B, so then all the strings are equal, and that would be 2 operations. And in the second one, there's no way to make them equal. So first of all, let's kind of figure out like what algorithm to go with. Now, I will say for easy problems, the constraints are usually very small. So they make it basically as long as you have a solution, no matter how inefficient it is, it'll work. But, you know, let's just say for practice, this was like 10 to the 5th, like a standard medium problem or something. Then where would you go? Think about that one, I guess. So let's say this is 10 to the 5th. You would immediately try to, the most common ways of doing this are probably like just in general for LeetCode problems are things like sliding window or 2-pointer or things like that. And for 10 to the 5th, things like DP would be too slow and like a bunch of other stuff, right? So let's try to get an n solution if possible, and log n solution or something. So essentially, what we need to do is we need to make every string the same. So if we work backwards, it's going to be a lot tougher. Like let's say we have these three strings. How do we know if they're the same, right? Like think about it. Let's say we have three strings. To know if they're the same, we'd have to go letter by letter and traverse the entire string, right? And we'd have to like delete and keep traversing the entire string, and that's kind of inefficient. So instead of doing that, what we are going to do is we are going to start at the start, and we know like at the very end, if they're the same, they're going to have the same letter. So we're just going to go left to right, and we're just going to compare like what's the longest string we can build. So longest string we can build, that's the same. And then we know we have to delete the rest of it, right? So we're just going to, instead of deleting, we're just going to be checking for what's the longest string we can build. And that's pretty easy, right? We can just check like, all right, let's check the first character of them all pretty fast. Second character of them all pretty fast. Third character, and so on, right? Until there is no match. Then once we know that, once we know the longest string we can build, we know we just have to delete every other character, right? And then they're going to be the same. So like in this example, what's going to happen here is we're going to check the first character. We're going to say, okay, they are already different. So there's nothing we can do here to make these strings the same, because if we're deleting from the right, they're never going to be the same. So we just return -1, right? But let's say we have some other strings, like let's say we have DAC, 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 and then we just have some other characters. So let's say we have like BAZ here, we have AD here, and let's say we have like EEEE. Okay, so this string is length 6, this string is length 4, and this string is length 7. So now, let's actually make this a little bit cleaner. So now we're going to, like I said, go through from the left. So we're going to say, okay, this is the same. That's fine. This is the same. This is the same. And this is the character is different. So there are 3 characters that are the same, right? So we have to delete everything else. So we have to delete everything else. We can simply just keep track of how many total characters are there, right? So there are 6 plus 4 plus 7. So there are 17 characters. There are 3 that are the same. Now, there are 3 that are the same in 3 strings, right? We're comparing 3 strings. So if there are 3 that are the same in 3 strings, how many total characters are the same? It's 9, right? So 9 characters are the same. There are 17. So how many do we have to delete? It's just going to be the length of all of them combined minus however many you have in common, right? So it's going to be 8. So we can write that down. So we can say chars to delete equals total chars minus chars that are the same. And that's basically all we have to do. So essentially, and the way we're going to figure out like how to traverse, the easiest way is we're just going to traverse 0 to the minimum of these lengths, right? Because if this is length 4, that means that the most characters that's possible to be the same is only 4, right? You can't have any more because then you would be out of bounds. So we'll just take the smallest string, and then we will traverse down that length, and we'll just keep checking for characters that are the same, keep adding to the result. As soon as a character is not the same, we know we have to delete everything past this point. And so, pretty straightforward problem, but I think definitely harder than most easy problems. So we're going to have a result. This is like the characters that are the same. So we'll say for I in range, we're going to take a minimum here, minimum length is the easiest way to do it. So then we have to keep checking for out of bounds. So minimum length of S1. Then we have, this should be length. So length of S1, length of S2, length of S3. So if they're not the same, and what you can actually do in Python is you can actually say, you can compare them all at the same time. So you can say if not S1i equals S2i equals S3i. Now I think in a language like JavaScript you wouldn't be able to do this, so you'd have to say like, okay, S1i has to equal S2i and S2 has to equal S3i. You have to break that down, but in Python you can do this. So if they're not all the same, let's just break. Otherwise, let's add to the result. Alternatively, I guess what you could do, yeah, might as well, right? Actually, no, there's going to be some issues there. I was going to say what you could do is you can just, as soon as they're not the same, you know your result is the character that you're breaking at. Like, that's also fine. But then, like, if they're all the same things, it's going to get a little annoying. So I think this is, like, easier to do. Okay, anyway. So if we didn't find any characters that are the same, right? If result equals 0, then we can't do anything here. Right? So if result equals 0, that means we have to delete the entire string. Otherwise, if the result is at least 1, then we have some character that is the same. So otherwise, we can return, and this is what I said, so it's the total character, so length of S1 plus length of S2 plus length of S3 minus, and the characters that are the same are 3 times the result, right? Because if there are 3 characters that are the same, there are 3 in each string, and so on. So let's try that. Let's take a look and have a solution. And there we go. And the nice thing also is when you do these LeetCode contest problems, you actually get like more, you can do way better because there isn't like an editorial and a bunch of people copying a solution. So it's kind of cool. You can get like the best solution and stuff a lot more often. But yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I'll probably make another 1 or 2 today and then probably have all of them done in the next few days. So if you do like doing the LeetCode contest, and like I said, there's a lot less content for them. So I'm going to start doing those again. And also the other nice thing is, A, it's new problems, and B, there's usually like a super hard problem. It's kind of fun to do. So stay tuned for that. And if you like this one, please like it, and please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.